All right, everyone, welcome back to my messy bench here. Went out and shot some 204 Ruger, and I am pretty pleased with the results. My setup is Wilson Combat 18-inch barrel 112 twist, Spikes tactical bolt carrier, Mapo. What is this? 4.5 to 27? Yeah, 4.5 to 27 optic on top. We used Nosler second, once fired brass, so now this will be second fired. Two powders we used was IMR 4198 and Ramshot Exterminator, and then we used CCI 41 primers, and then we use these guys here, 46 grain Barnes Varmint grenade, flat base, hollow point, pretty nice looking bullet. Keep in mind, this barrel is 18 inches. So velocity, like if you go to look at your load data, the velocity is going to be quite a bit shorter. Most of them tested with a 24, 26-inch barrel. So it's quite a bit shorter. The main reason I went with an 18-inch barrel is it's an air platform. I want to keep it shorter for hunting coyotes and stuff like that. And also I will have an 8-inch can eventually on the end of this. So that's what kind of the whole purpose behind this. So, all right, I'm going to roll in the targets, and we're going to talk about velocity and accuracy and standard deviations and stuff like that. So, all right, let's look at those. All right, so let's talk about these targets. So here we've got IMR 4198 with 21.5 grains, an average velocity of 3485, standard deviation of 23, and extreme spread of 63. Kind of throughout here, you're going to see not a whole lot of great standard deviations. Extreme spreads is just kind of how this has gone, maybe with this powder and bullet combinations. But yeah, not bad. A little bit of horizontal stringing, but it's not terrible. I guess it's a good start. So here we're getting into 22 grains with an average velocity of 3560, standard deviation of 14, extreme spread of 32. This one I was really happy with. Shot a good group. Had one string down a little bit to the right and low, but otherwise that's a pretty good group. So I really don't have a whole lot of complaints about that one. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. This one here had some weird horizontal stringing. You see those two shots kicked out left. Parallax is all good, but kind of shows what you got going on here when you have average velocity of 3550 and standard deviation 82 and extreme spread of 202. So that tells me something obviously was really off there. It'd be interesting to go back and review that group, but I think I'm just going to stay away from it. All right, so here's the next one. So 23 grains of IMR 4198, average velocity of 3780, standard deviation of 17, extreme spread of 33. That's pretty good. And this kind of loading right here would do really good for varmint hunting and coyote hunting. Good velocity. I have an 18-inch barrel, not too bad at all. Really don't have a whole lot to complain about right there. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy with that group. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here once again we have 3 grouping together and 2 grouping off to the side. This is with 23.5 grains with an average velocity of 3804, standard deviation of 45, extreme spread of 115. And so far on all my testing here, I've seen no pressure signs. Primers look great. No extractor marks, nothing like that. So there's potential to go a little higher in velocity here by increasing the charge weights. But we'll see how that goes. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so here we're using Ramshot Exterminator with 25.5 grains, average velocity of 3692, standard deviation of 53, extreme spread of 102. This is a ball powder. I don't expect a whole lot of stability out of it, temperature-wise, and probably not a whole lot of extreme, the standard deviation extreme spread. I've never really had great luck in that, but it does shoot pretty good groups, and I can usually get pretty good velocity out of it, so it's not terrible. All right, so here we go into 26 grains, average velocity of 3749, standard deviation of 81, and extreme spread of 141. So like I said, these are all pretty rough standard deviation and extreme spreads. Velocity is climbing. But as you see, I am getting a decent group. It is grouping together a little okay. I did have that one kick high and right. That one that kicked high and right was a really low velocity. So I think that's where the extreme spread comes from. All right, let's move on to the next one. So next one is 26.5, average velocity of 3797, standard deviation is 72, and extreme spread of 200. Once again, we've got 3 grouping and then 2 kicking. The one that's right above the bullseye and high, that was really low in velocity. So that's interesting to me. That's probably where I get the big extreme spread, and the one to the right was also low in velocity. That's also probably where I get my standard deviation kicked up and extreme spread kicked up. But interesting. So 27 grains, average velocity of 3863, standard deviation of 26, extreme spread of 33. This is really good for this powder. This is some of the best standard deviation and extreme spread I've seen out of this powder, and I'd take this group all day long. Take it out coyote hunting and rock chuck. That's good results there. Yeah, that's, to me, that's outstanding for this powder. All right, so once again, we got 3 grouping together and 2 kicking high. So 27.5 grains, average velocity of 3932, standard deviation of 51, extreme spread of 142. The 2 that are high, especially the one that's really high, that velocity was really low. And so I'm kind of thinking that's what, kicked my extreme spread so much. I did use my RCBS Chargemaster Lite, my RCBS Matchmaster to throw all these powder charges, and they were all spot on. To basically to the 100th, and so the powder charges all thrown good. Brass prepper is meticulous. I use nozzler brass on all of this stuff. So I think it just kind of is what it is. I've never seen amazing results with the Exterminator powder for standard deviation and extreme spread, but I do get decent groups. And when you're shooting, 200, 300 yards and in at varmints, it's not a huge deal. So, yeah. So I may mess around with some more different powder with this bullet, but we're going to move on probably to some Hornady bullets for the next video. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Stay tuned, comment what you think, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks, guys.